Good morning. My name is Drew Dennert. I am your other District 3 state representative. For Carl and I, this is our second Cracker Barrel of the weekend in a way, because yesterday we were on the Don Briscoe show on 9:30 KSDN from 4 till 5. I think we had a good time on that, didn't we? I mean, I know I did. When Carl says we've been busy in Pierre, he's right. There have been so far introduced 272 House bills, 187 Senate bills, so that comes to a total of 459 bills, 11 commemorations, and 29 resolutions, which comes to a grand total, by my count, of 499 total pieces of legislation. So we still need to get to one more to make it to the 500 mark. Al mentioned the Northern Stadium bill that passed the House unanimously on a vote of 65-0, and it passed the Senate. Was it yesterday or on Thursday?
Thursday.
31-2. So that's good news for Northern. $44 million that was raised in the Brown County Aberdeen community, so that's a big deal for us. The Elm Lake Dam appropriation is still awaiting Senate action, but I would hope that they'll give it their favorable consideration over there. A couple of my bills we mentioned last week, HCR 1001, the Northern Basketball Commemoration. This past week I had House Bill 1092 in State Affairs Committee that passed out of Committee 12-1. That's a bill that revises certain provisions regarding campaign finance disclosure reports. And a little bit of a backstory on that. A year ago I had a bill, I'll even talk about the law just a little bit more. Right now statewide candidates have to file a pre-primary report regardless of whether or not they have a primary, whereas legislative candidates only have to file a pre-primary report if their name appears on the primary ballot. So I had a bill last year that would have made legislative and county pre-primary reporting consistent with statewide candidates, whereas it would have said every legislative and county candidate has to file a pre-primary report. And I gained a lot of traction in the House. I got it out of House State Affairs Committee unanimous last year. I got it to the floor with only 5 no votes, but then it went over to the Senate.
We took care of it.
And as Brock would say, they took care of it. They basically said it was too broad. So what I'm coming back with this year is, I think, a compromise. It says that if you are running in the primary and you have a primary, you still have to file. If there is no primary whatsoever in that entire district for that race, you still don't have to file. But for example, if Brock were to get a primary challenge, he would still have to file, but whoever's running against him in the general election would have to file a pre-primary report too. The issue with that I have is we haven't been applying the law equally. There's been certain cases where one opponent might be able to say, okay, I'm going to log on to South Dakota Campaign Finance Reporting and look and see exactly how much money my opponent has raised as of May 20th, how much they've spent and who they've raised it from, but their opponent can't look and see how much they've raised. So I want to make this equal so all candidates can look and see if they have to file, their opponent's going to have to file also. House Bill 1204, and 1092 will be on the House calendar on Tuesday, I believe. House Bill 1204 is another one of my bills. It exempts certain sales of goods and services by minors from the sales tax. We talked just a little bit about Senate Bill 28, which appropriates $600,000 to the horse racing fund. Right now there's enough money in the horse racing fund to keep one track open. There's Fort Pierre, then there's Aberdeen. They're not going to both stay open unless the legislature does something. So we have a bill that would appropriate basically $300,000 for 2 years, so a total of $600,000 to keep that up and running. And we're hoping to have some ongoing revenue sources after that, possibly with sports gambling. House Bill 1203 authorized certain poker tournaments for restricted purposes. That was actually a constituent bill from Justin Remick that he brought up to me. House Bill 1098 passed the House floor this past week. Revised certain provisions regarding publication of official ballots in a legal newspaper. Real quickly on that one, there was a case out in West River. Right now, each newspaper has to publish the ballot a week ahead of time. And this newspaper did that, but the ballot came out super fuzzy and you couldn't read it at all. So what this does, it says that you can publish it up to 2 weeks for 2 weeks. So what they're hoping is that if they can publish that ballot a week sooner and it's good to go, everyone's happy. But if the ballot would come out fuzzy again, they can just get it over again and people can at least read that ballot. 1064 authorized temporary appointments to the State Government Accountability Board. That passed the House. Also passing the House were HB 1027, revised certain provisions regarding vote centers and precinct workers. And the last one that I'll mention right now, House Bill 1067 revised certain provisions regarding adult adoption. So those were just a few of the bills that we had up in the House. This past week was pretty busy, but next week is going to be even more so. We had a lot of bills introduced, and we look forward to your questions. Thank you.